طيب, here's my beautiful brother who says, أحسن الله إليكم Ustad, many sisters struggle to find a good Salafi spouse, and those same sisters are strong against polygyny. When if they were to open themselves up to polygyny, they would be able to find a good Salafi righteous spouse much easier, inshallah. Do you have any advice for the sister in regards to this? Yes, your loss. Your loss. I can assure you, the overwhelming vast majority of men and Salafis and so on, they want polygyny. Actually, the ulama, they mention that since the brother is not dispensing his lust through that which is haram, and that happens by gazing outside upon women, by gazing through the phone on women and pornography and so on. Same thing in movies and series, and he's always looking at women. This is, by the way, he's releasing like this. He's not as strong in these matters, and sexually and so on, like the brother that only has his wife. I'm not going to look at anybody. I'm not going to look at Therefore, you will see that that man's wife might be actually complaining from his strength in these. You understand what I mean? I'm not gonna. You understand what I mean? That he wants more often, and that Allahumma barik, and he wants to get married. So those other ones, they are reducing their lust, and they're reducing their power, and they're reducing their in that which is haram, and they have futur, as the ulama have said. They start having futur and less manliness and manhood in terms of these things, and less activity and energy and power and so on. And then the sisters, they want a Salafi, good brother, and they want what? That she's the only one. So what does he do with himself? Yeah, well, not enough. You could be Allahumma barik, beauty and everything is, but not enough. The brother needs. What does he do? And what do we do with the sisters that want Salafi, brother? If you want Salafi righteous spouses, like, they're not going to be people that are going to be, destroying their energy and power and lust and so on and so forth, and they're not going to be dispensing it in that which is haram, and they're not going to be doing that. So now, these Salafi brothers, what they want spouses. They don't want two, by the way. They want four. So when they come and they say, okay, two or three, طيب, yalla, where do you get them? And that's a contradiction. And I see a lot of the kharab is happening because of this. A lot of the, even the secret habit is happening because of this. Yeah, you open, you research one thing. You open your phone, you research one thing. You research a gadget that you want for your desk. One video appears to you that is bad, and then your feed, not your feed, if you're scrolling, or your feed starts getting bombarded with women. Bombarded with women that are not dressed in a nice way. Very seductive, very, a'udhu billah, and in comparison as well. In comparison, enhancements on them. I don't know, their whole lives is just for them to look pretty, and they're putting filters, and I don't know, and even if they did not put filter, fitna, unbelievable to an amount. And then the sister wants, and the sister, you get married, and she sees that you're struggling with all of this fitan, and instead of aiding you and helping you, la, she's against you as well. Fitna is high, ya ikhwa. Therefore, I also tell the fathers, a message that I send to the fathers: if you see your son has fallen into the secret habit or something like this is just an advice, and I could be wrong, and Allah knows best. But I don't say go head on with him. My advice would be that advise him in an indirect way. Because the fitna is high. The fitna is everywhere. That he could be not a person that is looking for fitna, and fitna came to him, and he is dying to get rid of it. Just like the questions that we have heard from the brothers. So instead, advise him, say, for example, son, I want you to get focused, and I want you to get married as soon as possible. Son, let's do our best to get you married. and so on. If you do that, I think you would encourage him a lot, and then tell him, put your hand on him and say, be patient, be patient. Inshallah, try your best to stay away from that which is haram. Even without showing him that you saw anything or you know anything, do your best, barakallah fiqh, to stay from, and let's try, and encourage him like this, and try to let him, start being able to afford a family from a young age, and help him if you are able to, and so on, and beautiful words and dua and so on. Don't clash with him, or attack him, or and so on and so forth, or punish him or put him in a shameful situation and all of that. I don't think this is wisdom. I think what is wise is that you do it this way, so that he knows that it's not hopeless. He knows that it is very soon, inshallah ta'ala. That actually helps him to quit and stop these things. But if he thinks, oh, it's gonna be a long way. I remember there's a brother. he was at the age of 13, and he was telling his father, like, I'm gonna have to wait until I graduate from high school. Look, not university. From high school until I get married. You want me to wait all of that time? He's in middle school, but because he hits puberty, he's telling his dad, "You want me to wait all of this time?" And imagine, ya ikhwan. Therefore, don't tell me married or not married. There are good brothers that I have spoken to, good brothers, sometimes students of knowledge, sometimes not students of knowledge, that are married, good brothers that are married, that book sessions with me in regards to the secret habit. The fitna is unbelievable. And what does his wife say? Nah, it's out of the question. It's out of the question. طيب, if he got married, he might quit these things. طيب, what you don't realize is that you're bringing his iman down. What you're not realizing, you're making him a worse person. What you're not realizing is that this is his right. You don't feel it, so you think it's okay. It's not okay. You don't understand it's the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You don't understand that those that are better than all of us combined did it. They had multiple wives. You're not better than them, and we're not better than them. I am not better than them, and yet they got married. You want us to be now better than them and stronger than them? How is this? At a time where fitna is unbelievably and uncomparably more than their time, and they got married more, and we are not at this day and age. And then what happens, ya ikhwa? She holds him by the throat. Courts, divorce me, the kids, I will take them. And I don't know, Tayyib, this poor guy is sitting thinking, I love my children. I don't want to lose having them at home. Right? I want my children. Tayyib, what are you doing to this brother? To do something that is his right. Tayyib, what if he thought that he didn't need this? And then after marriage, and after 3 years of marriage, 3 years, some sister thinks it has to be 30 years. And then he said, no, 3 years of marriage he needs. What does he do? Like, what about 7 years, 8 years? Now he thinks that he needs a wife, a second wife, even if it was just for the sake of intimacy. That's one of the most valid reasons, ya ikhwa, I say to this, subhanallah, to our beloved brother. This is a huge problem. Wallahi, I do not know. Is it lack of piety? Is it lack of aql? Is it lack of reasoning? Is it just kind-heartedness but jealousy mixed with it? Is it? Ma adri. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But at this day and age, wallahi, without a doubt, it's a problem. And my advice to women: don't give your husband problems. You go and look for a good-looking wife for your husband, a pious wife for your husband, a good-mannered wife for your husband, a sister, inshallah, in Allah to you, and tell him to marry her. And find another one as well while you're at it, if he's capable. That's not a problem. Yeah, I know what I'm saying is going to sound to some of our sisters to be, the sheikh, khalas, the brother, khalas, AbdulAziz, the brother, khalas. He lost his mind. No, no, my dear sisters. It's not that I lost my mind, or I'm saying impossible things, or so on. Houses are being ruined. Families are being ruined because of things like this. piety, the piety of a person is going down. People are doing that which is forbidden. People are there's a brother, I tell you, I share with you this story. There's a brother that told me once, subhanallah, wallahi, ajib. He said there was a sister that is a student of knowledge, and she was in the durus and so on, and she wanted to get married. But because she was divorced, society looked at her at that time in a way that, she's divorced, not something that a lot of people would want to get involved with. Subhanallah, I don't know why. Subhanallah. And she tried telling her family. She tried telling everybody that she needs a husband. She needs a husband. She needs a husband. And then this brother, he says the story, a trustworthy brother. He says, and then in the end, after years and years, because she needs this, she needs to fulfill her desires. And khalas, nobody's willing to do anything about it. And she's waiting to no avail. She started doing the mistake, right? With a doctor, he said. She started doing the mistake. And she left studying, and so the moral of the story, it affects the piety of our sisters that don't find Salafi husbands. It affects the piety of our dear brothers that are married and are not, and they need a second or a third or a fourth wife. It is affecting them. If you don't realize that, if you're not mature enough to realize that, I would say it's the most or one of the most things that are ruining some of the brothers and are affecting them deeply. And I don't think our dear brothers that ask such questions, they're asking it because they're not suffering. Well, they're asking it because they are suffering themselves, and they can correct me if they're wrong. Because they khalas, they've reached their limit years ago. It's what do they do? So they ask, Ya subhanallah. Wallah musta'an. I say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, to guide me and guide us and guide our brothers and guide our sisters to what He loves and pleases Him.